Right. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I see everyone filling in, coming on in. Great to have you here. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll give it another minute as lots of people are coming in and joining us right now. I hope everyone's doing well today. Thank you. All right, coming in. All right, we'll give it another minute here. I hope everyone is having a great day. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. All right. So I am PJ Shoulders, and I am the Director of Institutional Partnerships at Study Abroad Association. It's very nice to see you. Hi, Jennifer from Texas. Very nice to see you. Welcome to this webinar today. Today, we're going to be covering virtual global learning, courses and credentials guaranteed to engage your students. And so this is really going to be talking about how you can get your students very involved and how to encourage them to have these global experiences virtually or in person eventually. And we've got a great panel here today. Christian is going to be joining us shortly. He's running a little bit late, so I'm going to get us started. And I would like to introduce our panel. So again, Christian will join us soon, but we've got Kira Ferris here today. She is the Director of International Education over at South Piedmont Community College. And then we've got Alan DiDonato. He's the Instructor of Humanities over at Central Piedmont Community College. And then we've got Keiko from the Kansai University in Japan. She's the Vice Director of the Institute for Innovative Global Education. And so I am going to do my best to allow them plenty of time to present. But I wanted to at least provide a little bit of background to some of the things that you'll be hearing about today. And so let me, so we're going to talk about virtual global learning, courses and credentials, and how to engage students. And so we've broken this down into these three areas, really going to be focusing on the expansion of virtual programs that has occurred over the last few years, obviously, from COIL to all of these other things, including what we've done at Study Abroad Association, which has been pretty unique. But we always like to caveat it with the fact that this is not a replacement for traditional study abroad in any capacity. It's meant to be one of the additional tools in your toolbox. Virtual study abroad is not going to necessarily go away, virtual global learning, but it also provides access to a variety of more people and more students who might not necessarily have the opportunity to have this experience. So today you're going to hear about some students who are using courses, credentials, to really kind of build up their international experiences and help them be more career ready. And so we're going to hear from Kira and Alan about what they've done on their campuses and the North Carolina Scholars of Global Distinction Certificate Program, which allows students to graduate from community colleges in North Carolina with this credential that really helps them in applying to four-year traditional colleges, as well as going into the workforce, which is great. We're also going to hear from Keiko today, and she's going to be talking about what they've been doing to engage students, as well as their international plans and strategy, because I think you'll find that as she's talking later, they're doing quite a bit and have done a lot of research about students doing virtual learning. So this I think you'll find very interesting as well. And obviously engaging students, which, are end users. Those are the ones who every day, we want to make sure that they're there having these experiences and having a great time. So very excited about that. So let me move to the next slide here. All right. So Study Abroad Association has created our 360 Global Learning Experiences, which are essentially this interactive platform for students and faculty to be able to explore the world and have global materials to share with students for faculty so that they can internationalize their courses in their classroom. And one of the things that we found is that we wanted to be very interactive for students because that engagement portion was really pivotal. And so we created this platform, which I'll show you very quickly in a minute. But more importantly, I really wanted to focus in on the course, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So the courses that have been created, not just by SAA, but by our colleagues. So Alan DiDonato here today is going to talk about one of the courses he created on his campus, which has been incredibly popular and has a ton of students that have enrolled, which has been great. And so these courses that we've created at SAA are based on our 360 Global Experience platform. And so there's hotspots students can click on, there's videos they can watch, they can explore on their own. It's 360, the pictures move around, very fun and engaging. And so we're going to talk about all of that today, and I'm going to have our panelists really delve into what they've done because hearing from them is far better than hearing from me. So here's our content that's included in our Global Learning Experiences platform. We have basically 1,800 globally infused videos. There's 10 hours of 360 interactive and immersive content. We've got 75 professional guest speakers. So there's a wide variety in here. And I'll kind of show you. So I just put up some screenshots here so you can see this is our course with a syllabus that goes along with it so that it shows the students, exactly what they're going to be covering each week of the course. And then this is kind of a screenshot of what it looks like within the system. So I am going to share another screen and let me see if it will pop up here. Can you see the actual course itself now? Okay, cool. It's not the screenshot, right? I'll make sure. All right, fabulous. Thank you guys. So this is our learning management system, which is essentially Thinkific. And we've got it set up on the left. You'll see there's a syllabus, course information. It goes into text about an overview of the Middle Ages, Renaissance, and Tuscany. And then you click on this one, which is Middle Ages and Renaissance and Tuscany. And you'll see it's going to pull up here. And this is our 360 global platform that is embedded within the learning management system. And so this is where the students would actually be engaged and involved and getting to see everything. And so you can see as you're moving around here, this is very interactive. You can click on these icons. That's a tutorial. It's all embedded into Google Earth as well. And so you can drill down if you're not sure where we are within Italy, you can drill down and see, okay, well, now we're in Florence, which is great. And then when you click on any of these, let's go to Point Vecchio. I'll click on that and you'll see that will bring us right here into Point Vecchio. So here we are, and all of these are interactive. You can move the screen around. The intent being to really get students excited and want to go to these locations and places. And we've designed them all so that faculty can easily copy and paste this into their own learning management systems. And you're going to hear a lot about that today from our expert panel as they talk about how they've done things on their campus to create courses that engage students using this technology. And so just to show you kind of some of the content that we have, I'm going to click here on our Duomo 360 video. The 360 videos are actually my favorite. They're very interactive. You can move, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. And let me make this big screen here. And I'm going to pause it. Can you hear it okay?
1200s, Florence was.
Perfect. And let me make sure I get my computer has been going a little slow. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure we're on good quality before this runs. All right.
Of course, we needed.
So I can move this screen, you see.
That were representing this richness. So now, imagine you're back in the Middle Ages. You're walking in this wide street that was called Via Larga, the wide street.
And you can move around, you can pause, you can look all around this as he's walking up on the Duomo. So it's just like you're there with a guest lecturer speaking about the history of Florence, the Duomo, and all of that information. He goes on to talk about the baptistry and its importance. And so faculty can use this information and this content in their curriculum to copy and paste. You see up here in the top right, copy link, copy and paste it right into your own learning management system. And it can be part of your course to get students very excited either about whatever it is you're teaching. We've got guest lectures with plenty of business folks, entrepreneurs, in India. And we go start to finish through the whole silk production in India, which is really interesting. We interview the Bribri tribe in Costa Rica. So it's not just individualized content for a specific academic focus. Most of it is multidisciplinary. And so you can really incorporate a lot of this into your courses, and it makes it very easy to do so. So that's just really to give you some very basic context of kind of what our expert panel is going to be talking about today so that you understand how the system works. And so from there, if you have any questions, I was going to say, if we have any housekeeping items, feel free to pop those in the chat and we will answer those as we go. At the end of the panel, we will have plenty of time for Q&A too. So if you have specific questions for our panelists, you'll have time for that as well. So our expert panel today, you're going to hear very unique perspectives from 3 different institutions. And they're going to talk quite a bit about what they've been doing to engage students. And I'm super excited to hand this over to Kira Ferris from South Piedmont. So go ahead, Kira.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, based on where you're currently located. Thank you for having me aboard today to discuss how we use Study Abroad Association, Virtual Study Abroad at our particular college. Just to give you an idea about South Piedmont Community College, we are located in the Charlotte metro area. We're a suburb of Charlotte in North Carolina in the United States. We are not a particularly large college. We service 2 counties, Union County and Anson County. These counties are very diverse. Union County is considered an affluent county, in contrast to Anson County. And something that is unique about our college is that we have one of the largest populations of early college, meaning high schoolers in college in the state of North Carolina. So we do have a very young population too at our college, which presents a diverse range of opportunities and challenges to be met to meet all the needs of our students in our college, and how to meet our students where they are at and meet what they are looking for and meet them on different levels and provide different amounts of material for them to engage them and to engage our faculty too. Next slide, please. Okay, my slide shows a gorgeous green background.
Sorry, I'm like, where did my screen go? It completely went away. All right, hang on. There it went. All right, sorry about that.
I can talk about the countryside if we want to.
Sure. Go ahead, Kira, my bad.
It's not a problem, PJ. So, virtual study abroad for me falls under the era of immersive technologies, immersive experiences. These are experiences that extend our reality, that create captivating learning experiences. This is important for faculty and for students. Coming out of the pandemic, we have to figure out a way to re-engage our students, to get them back in the classroom. They've been so used to going online, the experience for students is so much more in the classroom. And also for engaging our faculty to change up their courses. Learning has changed so much in the past 10 years, but it feels like now it changes every year. I've also learned a fact that the average email includes 435 words, but what you read of that email could only be 50 to 75 words. So you have a limited capacity to engage people, to grab their attention, to get them interested. And so we started with Study Abroad Association by creating a course. we wanted to create a course that included this material to get not only our students, but community members. So we did it as a CE course to engage our community, to engage our students, to get them in and to get them thinking about traveling again, to get them thinking about how to use technology. It was an opportunity to teach them not only about a different country, but also to teach them about technology, which is equally important. Like we have all struggled to use our phone at some point or other. So this was an opportunity to get students back in the classroom to use this. Next slide, please. So what we did for this particular course was a combined virtual study abroad and virtual reality. We did it as a tour of Italy. We developed a course with Study Abroad Association that looked at art, history, archaeology, food, climatology, a bunch of topics where we had the opportunity to teach students. And it included some of our faculty actually in this course because it was very intriguing how to teach them how to use the VR, how to use the virtual study abroad, and really learn how to incorporate this in your classroom, or for those community members, how to prep to travel abroad. This was such an excellent tool for them to see what it was going to be like. This was a fantastic opportunity for our students. And so when we first initially did this course, you never know what you're going to get. As with any set of instruction when you teach, you never know when you need to pivot when you're in class and see what is best for your students, what is best for the needs of people. And so this was an excellent learning opportunity to see how we could move forward with the virtual study abroad program. So the students had a fantastic time. We were able to learn the material, whether it was through the Oculus. That was the particular headset that we use at our college. We have a classroom set, meaning 24 headsets that we use here to use in this particular course or for faculty to check out. It is ran through our library. So you can check out a whole classroom set, you can check out individual sets, students can check out individual sets and utilize the Oculus for the virtual study abroad program in addition to other apps that we have there. But you can engage then with the program. It's a very intense experience because there are two types of effects. There's a 3D effect, which is where you can take those fantastic videos that virtual study abroad provides and have it 360 around you. So when you're sitting in the Oculus, you can open up. One of my particular favorite ones is when you're walking into the Coliseum up the stairs and you feel like you are walking into the Coliseum up the stairs. Your brain has been tricked, so you get that sense of motion as you're moving along with people in your headset, and then looking out onto the floor of the Coliseum. It's a fantastic experience. It's a very intense experience too. So you can take a step back and have that cinematic experience. You can be in your headset and look like you're sitting in a movie theater and watching this. You don't have to have the full 360 around you. And if you want to take an even step back from that, the study abroad material, the virtual 360 is fantastic on your computer, your laptop, your iPhone, your Samsung phone, all of it. So we were able to offer students the broad range because not everybody wants to sit in the Oculus headset and watch all the material. Sometimes they just want to sit at a laptop and enjoy how it is. And that is, both of them are fantastic experiences, but this really opened up a lot of opportunities for us at the school once we saw how the community engaged with it, how our students engaged with it, and what we could do with it. Next slide, please. So this brought me to a lot of highlights and lessons we learned from that particular course. One was that the utilizing computers when not using the VR, allowing students to become comfortable with the VR, but really the highlight is how fantastic this material is and how it can be used in so many different settings. You can use it as a recruitment tool. You can use it in different classrooms. Each classroom, there is such a broad range of material that the Study Abroad Association has and they're always creating more, which is fantastic, that it can be used in different kinds of classroom settings. One of the things we did realize from it, though, was this would be fantastic to incorporate to our Scholars of Global Distinction program. We utilize pathways in our Scholars of Global Distinction program where you can do different avenues. And one of the pathways that we created was a 30-hour of study abroad. We incorporate that, and you can either utilize all the material that is in the Study Abroad Association and kind of create an a la carte version, or utilizing the cultural studies course that they offer. But this has given students the opportunity, because students, as part of the Scholars of Global Distinction, you need to do either study abroad, or we have the option of now virtual study abroad, because study abroad is not feasible for everyone. And that even means that even outside of costs, where there are scholarships to go study abroad, students may not just have the time. They have many responsibilities. We have older students, we have younger students who are still in high school. And so it may not just work into their plan of study. Virtual study abroad can be done at home, on the weekends, at nights, 12:30 at night, 6:30 in the morning. Whenever you decide to wake up and do this, you can gain your hours for that 30 credits, the 30 hours that you need for Global Scholars in Distinction. And this adds that flexibility that students need. Coming out of the pandemic, students' lives were turned upside down and they need options. Whether they now have to stay at home because of family, whether they've been working now different hours, they need to find a way to build in that time, and time that's convenient to them. This is a perfect program for this. So this allows students to have that in-depth exploration of topics or interests, as they have 9 different countries, several topics of interest that they can go and search and say, this is what I want to incorporate into my Global Scholars of Distinction. And that's the options we need to give students. We need to give that students the flexibility so that they can succeed. There are a lot of different barriers for students, and we want to meet students where they're at. And this provides that flexibility to meet students where they're at. So we have planned to do more courses like we've done. We look forward to more material from them and utilizing this in our classroom, outside our classroom, in VR, on computers, wherever we're at. And so it has been a fantastic experience for our students. And thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kira. I was going to say one of the other really great things that Kira has done that I like to share is that she is the master of casting everything out to smartboards. And so whenever she's teaching and working with the students, she'll actually cast the entire Global 360 out onto the smart boards and be able to move on the smart board through the entire platform, which really gets students excited too. So it got me very excited when I saw her teaching that way. So yes.
Thank you. So that is, you know, for some reason, that is the second time I forgot about our smart boards. And I feel that that has been an excellent element, especially when you're trying to, let me show the whole class this one aspect of the Coliseum and not try to have everybody find it on their computer at the same time. Let me spin right to it and let me talk to you about it. That has been a fantastic point here at South Piedmont Community College, because we can all look at it at the same time, because also building in time for your faculty. And that has been a fantastic point right there, is that we are limited on time with our classroom and our students' attention and everything. And when you can bring it up right on the screen, show the student what they need to do and keep the class moving without having to stop and pause and start again, it is a fantastic option for students because it just adds that ease of buildability. Thank you so much, PJ.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. All right, now we're going to turn it over to Alan DiDonato over at Central Piedmont Community College.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here today. I'm Alan DiDonato. I teach humanities and philosophy over at Central Piedmont. I also have to compliment Kira on what she's doing over at South Piedmont. I had the opportunity to go and take a look at what she was doing up close, and it really is very, very impressive. What we're doing at Central Piedmont is a little bit different. I've been doing term abroad with my students for a number of years, and obviously with the COVID lockdown, a lot of that changed really, really quickly. The college is also involved in Scholars of Global Distinction, so we've got a number of students that are working towards particular Scholars of Global Distinction certificates or graduation requirements, which ask for them to take a number of classes that we call globalized. A number of my classes are already inherently globalized because I teach things like myth and human culture, ancient medieval humanities, and stuff like that. But we've been offering the Humanities 120, which is a general cultural studies course, in conjunction with Term Abroad. And we've been doing that for years. A lot of different departments in the college send their students to different countries, and a lot of them take the Humanities 120 as their humanities credit to go with whichever trip, whether it's with the culinary department or whether it's with business or English or whatever. So it was a little upsetting when we had to immediately stop doing that during the shutdown, but Study Abroad Association awesomely put together this website that we were able to take advantage of really quickly. And when I saw what they had to offer, I was just so impressed. I knew this is something we definitely need to incorporate as an alternative to the live term abroad. And maybe I shouldn't say it that way because, like they said, it's not a replacement for actual term abroad. I don't think there's anything that can replace being on the ground in a foreign country, engaging with people from different cultures. I try to get my students interested in that every semester in the classroom as I'm talking to them and telling stories and showing photos, but it's not going to be as immersive as actually going ahead and using the 360 software or website to get a real feel for what it is going to be like to be on the ground with a 360 video and all that kind of immersive experience. Like I said, it's the next best thing to actually being on the ground. So we came up with a 120 version 120 cultural studies class version for fully online. So this is not an in-classroom experience the way Kira is doing over at South Piedmont, but the students are able to take the class as a requirement for, with the Global Scholars of Global Distinction, they've got to take at least one term abroad as part of the program. And this could be a replacement for that requirement if they're unable to do a term abroad. Like we got it's a two-year college and we have a number of students that weren't able to go on term abroad during the shutdown, but they could take the 120 as a fully online immersive virtual tour. And we had a great response to that. We've been offering the course every semester. And that's actually one of the other benefits of doing what we've done is we would only offer the Humanities 120 Cultural Studies class once a year, usually during the summer semester where most of the people are traveling. Now we can actually offer the course fall semester, spring semester, summer semester, and we're even maybe toying with the idea of having a short mini winter semester version of it. We haven't played with that just yet, but it's something that's in the works. So more students are going to be able to take advantage of getting that cultural experience. And I really love the idea that it's going to help maybe generate more interest in actual term abroad. And that's what I've been pushing with the students. Take the class, you start to see things that you haven't seen before and from a perspective that you haven't seen before. One of our signature assignments for that course is it's a two-part assignment where they initially talk about their perspective on other cultures, particularly the cultures that they're going to be studying in the course prior to actually going through the material in the 360 modules. And at the end of the semester, we have them do another reflection paper on what has kind of changed in their perspective, what things they've learned that they found surprising. So over the course of reading a lot of these essays by the students, it's really amazing how many students had certain preconceptions and prejudices about certain places. And then once they started to engage with the videos, with the content at the end, they've just been completely open now to understanding in a new way these people, these cultures and things like that. And a lot of them really want to now go and engage in an actual live term abroad. And that's what we really want for them. What we've done is we've developed a fully online course, as I said, in our learning management system, which is Brightspace. And the course is broken up into a couple optional tours. So you've got, there's so much content on the Study Abroad website for Italy. We did a whole standalone Italy tour. And then we've done another world tour where we have experiences from the number of other countries that they offer. And the students get to choose what kind of trip they want to do within the semester. And then they get to, of course, go through and do discussions regarding different things, whether it's business practices, scientific, climate change issues, cultural issues. So they start to engage with one another in the website, discussing those things. They also have a number of other academic things that they're going to fill out as they go through the semester. So it's a full 3-credit course done through the 360 program. And again, all of it's very easily to build into your own LMS. did that. We do it as an 8-week course currently. And like I said, we're going to maybe condense it down into a 4-week course. So that's the challenge, is to have the students be able to go through the same amount of content in half the time. That's always a challenge. But right now it's working out fantastically. The students respond really well. A lot of them, are emailing me all the time saying, this is one of the best courses I've ever taken. I really want to travel now. I've never had an interest in it before, but all of a sudden, this is something that's, I don't want to say life-changing the way an actual term abroad would be, but it's definitely changing their perspective. So it's been, great response there. The other thing I was going to mention, which just jumped right out of my mind. Yeah, it's gone. So sorry about that. The fact that it's always full. The course we've offered originally just a single course per semester, and now we've kind of upped the number of courses that we offer because the demand is so high. For instance, this summer we're going to be offering, I believe, 3 different sections of the 120 virtual tour, but we've been doing at least 2 every semester. So it's been, like I said, a really, really great response. Students are enjoying it, and I'm planning on just doing more and more with it as we can. So it's been great having the 360 program, Study Abroad Association. It's been really wonderful to work with, and they've been incredibly helpful, on the technology end whenever I have any questions as well. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan. That was great. One of the other things I was going to say too that you've done, Alan, over at Central Piedmont, along with Nadine, is really kind of used this course, the Humanities 120, as such a global foundation for everything that you're doing as an institution. And so not only has your course generated tuition revenue as a result of getting more enrollments and things like that, but so the entire institution itself, along with all of the study abroad that Nadine has been doing as she runs their global education office, has all been done in a combination. And so it really is this toolbox of on the ground study abroad, the Humanities 120, getting students excited for these opportunities, getting them excited about getting their certificate of global distinction. And actually that's, I think the next slide is the picture of the Scholars of Global Distinction group from 2019 at Central Piedmont. And this is Nadine over here. So she's the head of their global engagement there. So which Alan's class is just amazing and really is, he's been pivotal in helping us create our own course in Thinkific as well. And so his feedback has really been, we take very, very much to heart, because what he's done on his campus is really something that is easily replicated and can be utilized on any campus in any learning management system. And I think that's really the takeaway from what you've done, Alan, in addition to many other things. So wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, now I'm going to hand it over to Keiko. It's wonderful to have you here. And I will let me know if you'd like to, when you want me to move your screen along.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to share my slide. If you can see it now. Yeah. And you can hear me now. All right. So for the next 10 minutes, by the way, I'm Keiko Ikeda. Thank you very much for having me on this panel today. I'm very happy to be here. In the next just 10 minutes or so, I'm going to provide some background and things happening on my campus, Kansai University, which is located in Osaka. It's a private comprehensive university. And what we're doing and then where we're going from here. And in 10 minutes, it's going to be a very quick one, but I hope you can enjoy it and then have some takeaway from that. I'm going to have to sort of track back and then talk about more of a bigger scale, big picture, and then go into the introduction of my university. So what I'm sharing here is some slides from IAU Global Survey Report. I share this because it shows the transformation that higher educational institutions are going through right now, particularly with the online modality use of international education. So with approximately 500 respondents from 112 countries and territories from the survey, it's reported that during the pandemic or with the pandemic impact, academic partnership for international collaborative learning, including COIL, which is what with the Kansai University is very strongly doing, has shown the most growth in Africa and Americas. And the importance of international online collaborative learning is increasing as you can see in the slide, and at Kansai University too, that we're pushing for international collaboration online as well. And the pandemic has clearly stimulated an increase in the importance of virtual exchanges and collaborative online learning and internationalization of the curriculum or at home, as you could have expected, and as you shown it in the slides as well. And for the mobility effect, because of this, a context, it's more mixed in the results there. And this slide, in order to enable the virtual exchange, we all know that the technology, the EdTech, plays a very important key role. So a great majority of higher education institutions have private sector partnerships. So I guess Study Abroad Association could be one of them, both for educational technology, which shows over 86%, and then beyond for 84%. And you can see in the region, Africa and Asia and the Pacific seems to show a good stretch here. And going to my university, so Kansai University trends may fit well into the trend I just talked about as well. So we launched what we call Kansai University Digital Transformation in 2021, just last year, with the 3 pillar concepts that's shown in the slide. So with the technology, we're trying to bring out an inclusive, borderless, and interactive teaching and learning opportunities and quality to our campus. And in 2021, we have done is to create what is called the global smart classroom spaces in our 5 campuses, which is spread and located in the different parts of one state, Osaka Prefecture. This is a physical room with the hardware facilities and equipped to enable inclusive, borderless, and interactive teaching and learning. Along with the hardware, we have employed some software at the same time as well, which I will talk a little bit more. Why global smart classroom? I should probably talk about that. At Kansai University, we believe that a norm for the next phase would be a HyFlex classroom. And it could be a universal case as well, in which students on site and online are both attending the class, and we may be collaboratively teach and learn with those from different countries as well. So global smart classroom is designed so that interaction among the participants, regardless of the modes or modalities of participation, would run smoothly. We have adapted a Zoom enhanced application called Class as well, which allows a wide variety of interactive engagement and participant monitoring by the instructor during a class session. You can see a little bit of that from the film here. We've seen doing many international collaborative learning until now, but with the GSC, this engagement will be much easier and also much more available. Right. And one of the ways that makes use of this classroom is a new program that we just launched. It's called JMCP, Japan Multilateral Koyo Project. This invites our global partner universities to identify instructor, collaboratively teach, and students in the network can freely participate and take the offered online virtual exchange module. They receive a digital badge by participating in it. And we do this program.
Mabuhay! Hi, kamusta?
Konnichiwa. It's also nice to hear the students, but I like to actually talk over as well. So I'm just gonna mute that for now. If you like the link, I'll be happy to share with you later. But with it, we have over 200 IIGE Global Partner Network University members in the world, and they will join this virtual exchange program. And we also have a Japan Koyo Association, which has about 50 top level universities in Japan. It's in the network as well. We've done 1 course in March 2022, and we'll be doing 3 more courses this summer in August. So we have so far over 200 students applied to join the courses from over 9 countries. And then Kansai Digital Transformation is also using Metaverse as well. So this is an entrepreneurship camp program using the Virbela application. Some of you might know about the Virbela. In addition to this program, participants from overseas universities such as University of Colorado and Bridgewater State University joined, and international teams to create a business plans there. And avatars worked in the virtual offices, conference rooms, etc., in the virtual space with the 3-dimensional realism. And finally, as a part of our international educational practice, we have working with the Study Abroad Association to utilize the VR materials in maintaining and developing interest in outside world more than ever, even when it's no longer possible to easily travel around abroad under a pandemic. We have also worked with the Study Abroad Association to develop a virtual campus tour program for our campus. So this is the campus that you're seeing. This is Kansai University. This virtual tour can be experienced on the browser, and as you can know, and you can use the VR, but you don't necessarily have to have the VR. One of the very effective way that we have used during the pandemic was that most of the international students were actually in mainland China, and they weren't able to come over to Japan to actually study. So, and they never had a foot into our campuses, and then they were about to graduate. So we wanted to give them a little taste of campus, and this virtual tour program was really effective for that. And as a last couple slides here, I wanted to bring this information to our thought, study abroad, right? Mobility. When we talk about the international education, physical mobility of students is something we cannot just pass over without addressing about it. I know we're talking about virtual study abroad today, but this is the physical one I'm talking about here. This is a Project Atlas data. Roughly, we have approximately in the world 5.6 million students studying abroad. But when we critically see what's happening with the equity and inclusion point of view, this number and this map tells a different pictures. So this is showing the leading places of origin of international students by host country. And while some diversity is found comparing to how the things were in, say, 2010, for example, yet still the physical mobility trends show that the landing sites of international students are selected, and also that the sending countries are also limited too. It is also very worth noting here that 5.6 million students that I just talked about is only 2% of the total number of higher educational institution students in the world. So to meet our most important pillar concept, inclusive international education, this is a picture that we need to fix. So digital technology adaptation, including this 360 courses, may play a key role to this. And this is my last slide. These are the courses that are going to adapt GLE courses in upcoming fall semester. So we just adopted this program. So we are doing only the pilot for now. But among the instructors that we are already talking about how students can make use of this GLE now. And with the same pilot that we've done, so we know more or less how we wanted to use it. One example is shown here in this slide. So we're basically considering GLE as a core resource. So for example, students can choose one country to explore in an international team. So they might come from different countries and they choose one particular country, right? Or they can explore multiple countries at the same time and identify social issues in common. So that can be also another task that we can cast to the students. If they're from the target country, for example, if they're from Italy, for example, explore what students can add to the content. If the theme is limited, for example, say, viewpoint of SDGs, what else can you wanted to add to the content? Then they can actually generate suggestions to the GLE course. That could be a task as well. So in other words, creating a task for COIL, which invite the overseas and international students together to explore and work collaboratively. So that's something that we are thinking about, and I hope to share some developments and results on the use in the very near future in another opportunity like this panel. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Keiko. That was fantastic. And I think, you'll see from all three of our panelists here, they're all doing amazing things. And, Kansai just in general has really done a wonderful job in getting their students engaged and involved through all of those various ways that they've been implementing virtual study abroad. And back to what Keiko had, or virtual learning, sorry, global learning. What Keiko had said too is that, there really are only 2% of students who traditionally have ever studied abroad. And so again, the virtual global learning materials and courses and certificate programs are all a great way to engage students that aren't going to have those opportunities to go abroad, or who may just never have the chance to do it because, they have jobs or, they don't have the finances, whatever it might be. So, and they might not ever think of studying abroad until they actually have that virtual global experience on their own on your campuses. And so I think it's really great to have this as part of your arsenal in terms of what you can offer students to get them engaged in global learning. I wanted to share just some feedback that we've gotten from students in terms of using the virtual 360 global learning experiences, as well as the courses. And so we've got one here from Central Piedmont, from Alan's course, talking about how she really enjoyed the class, and she'd like to get to see the places in real time and get to learn about history and culture through them. So really great and exciting there, as well as I love Heather from College of Central Florida saying it was the best thing since sliced bread. And immersive and educational, and wishing that they could do more virtually. So as well as a few more here. In terms of Anne at Valencia College, she was working on her global distinction program using the 360 global learning experiences. So we've got a significant amount of students who are utilizing this at a variety of campuses, and the feedback we're getting and what you've heard today is that the students are really enjoying it. So I think we've talked a lot about Zoom fatigue and how long will students really be willing to do this. I don't know, I have a 25-year-old daughter. She sits in front of the computer and plays video games all day long, right? So I don't know how much Zoom fatigue fits in, if it's something that gets them excited and something they want to do. And if it is, they're going to do it. And our experience has been that they are willing to do it and love the experience. And so we think we need to continue building upon this and offering these things to students as they go. So we've left plenty of time for Q&A. And I really want to make sure we take advantage of our panel here. So if you have any questions, feel free to write those in the chat. Or you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Anything in particular that was exciting for you guys to hear? Anything that you didn't expect to hear? Okay. Anybody have any questions? Great. I think that means that we answered everybody's questions. You guys did a great job. Here we've got a question from Susan. Do students have to purchase the VR headsets, or are they available for checkout? So Kira, that's probably for you.
We have created a checkout system with our library for the VR headset. So just like a book, the students can check it out. They do have to use it on campus because of connectivity to wireless, or they have to like reset it up for themselves, which is something we are working towards. But for now, for ease of use, they just check them out in the library. We have these telephone booth areas that I call them, but they're kind of these soundproof little rooms that they can use the headset in, or they can use them somewhere else on campus. Most of the students like to use them near us so that they can get their questions answered if they have an issue. But we've had a lot of success with students and faculty. We have a lot of faculty who check out the headsets so that they can preview information and things like that. So I have to say it has been very successful using it through the library.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things too, Alan, were you going to say something? You were muted. I didn't know if you were. Okay. One of the things I think would be good for Kira to address too is she got a grant to get some of those headsets, funding, right? And so do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I think that would be really helpful for people on the webinar.
Following the pandemic, there was a lot of need for technology at South Piedmont Community College. We have what is called HyFlex in all our classrooms too. That is where students can take our courses synchronously, asynchronously, or in person. So this has been brought to you through grants in technology, and we had saw a rise in grants for things like that because of the pandemic, and for students to have access to the materials they need. And we do know that through several other schools that it has been difficult to get students back in the classroom, and that online has been a wave of the future, whether we like it or not. And that's been very important with the Study Abroad Association, that it is available to students online and they don't have to be sitting in front of us, and they can access it whenever they want.
Yeah, definitely. So Rhonda had put, so Jennifer had said it was great to see so many different applications. Yes, absolutely. And I think adjusting it to your institution and your students' particular needs is really key, as you've seen from the 3 different approaches from our panelists today. So knowing your institution and what their internationalization goals are very important in how you're going to roll that out. And so Rhonda at Martin Community College said, we're just getting started with the Scholars of Global Distinction program, hoping we can get funding to help kickstart study abroad. Yeah, absolutely, Rhonda, for sure. Great to see you. Thanks for coming, Rhonda. Yeah, and I know you're getting the Scholars of Global Distinction off the ground there, so that's great. Excellent. Any other questions? If not, I mean, we'll be here another minute or two, but I want to move on to the next slide so that people can grab our contact information. If you have any specific questions that we've not addressed yet today, feel free to reach out to our folks on the panel. I'm really thrilled that they were able to join us. Keiko, especially given that it's now 1:30 at night your time. Really special shout out and thank you to you for staying up to join us and share the graphics and content and data were really, really helpful. So very interesting. I appreciate that. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all. Thank you again to our panel. I greatly appreciate your time and effort in helping us and in sharing your outlook and feedback on globalization and international education and using virtual learning materials to get students excited about global ed. So thank you all so much and have a wonderful day. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sharmila.